You're not colorblind, right?
Nope.
What's your favorite color?
Uh, probably. Part of me wants to say black, but probably the dark red, the burgundy-ish
All right.
color.
This one?
Mhm.
Um, which is the game? Is it this game or?
It's further down.
Oh yeah, I remember it's the one where you like inted, right?
I'm like 3, 6, and 4,
Yeah.
something like that. 2, 6, and 3. There we go. It's up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you remember from this game?
Fiora got hovered, Riven, and champ select. Died in like the first 2 or 3 minutes, and then kept getting solo killed by Riven.
Yeah. But except for that, what about like your own performance? What do you remember from that?
I remember there's one time I tried to go top after the lane was already lost and died, but besides that, I don't really remember much from it.
Yeah, what do you think made you do that decision?
I didn't think I honestly don't think I checked what items the Riven had before I ganked. Like, I knew her score, but I didn't actually know what item she had, and I thought there was potential to kill her. But I feel like I should have just realized that, like, Fiora's already a lost cause.
Yeah. She is for sure doomed. It's already hard to kill a Riven as Evelynn because you have to burst through her shield. And if you don't kill her fast enough, she gets 2 rotations of shields as well. So it's not an easy case regardless. In a lot of your games, you pop off. So the reason why I kind of wanted to watch that game is because like it's important in solo queue to be consistent. And I think you're quite consistent on your Evelynn. You get fed in most of your games. So I just want to see like what went wrong in that specific game, so that we don't do those mistakes again. Because if you don't really have many off games, you will just climb really easily. What's your goal with solo queue? Like just climb as high as you can, or?
The highest I've been is like, because like a little bit of background, like the first time I ever played League was Season 3, and I actually like hated it because like I was a console FPS player. And then like, beginning of Season 5 I started playing, and I think it was last year I hit Diamond for the first time. I hit D3 on the Fallen account, like D3 70 OP, and D4 on a different account that I didn't link because I don't play on it as much.
Yeah.
But like, I would like to get as high as possible because like I play ULOL for my college,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of fun playing against people who are higher rank and actually performing well.
Mhm.
And I want to like actually prove I can play against those people in solo queue.
Yeah. Okay. Except for Evelynn, what do you play? Because if you're gonna be playing for team, of course Evelynn should be getting banned against you, right?
Yeah. I
And
went through the last year with 5 jungle bans every game.
yeah.
Like Eve, Kane, Kha'Zix, and then whatever else they decide to ban.
Yeah.
But like, I enjoy like Eve, Kane, and Kha'Zix. I feel comfortable playing almost anything besides Rengar.
Mhm.
Like Rengar's rotations feel really weird to me.
Yeah. I can understand that. It's at least when you start learning Rengar, it's annoying to understand his passive and stuff.
It's one of those things where like anybody who's a really good Rengar player, I just respect it because he feels so clunky to me.
Yeah.
But like Eve, Kane, Kha'Zix, Lilia. I also really like Talia, but she feels horrible right now.
I think she's actually pretty good after the changes. I played her 3 games so far, and
Is this after the Q buff she got this
yeah,
patch?
yeah. Before she got that, she's awful, but right now I think she's really fine.
Yeah, I played one game of her before that, and it's like
Yeah,
level
she's
3
useless.
enemy was level 5. Like,
Yeah. She's useless, but now I think she's actually like really playable. Like I rate her really highly right now. Like I think she is top 3 AP junglers, I'd say right now. Like I think she's really strong.
it's one of those things where it's like I feel like I play the best on champions who have fast clears that I can just kind of outpace the enemy jungle.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're playing Evelyn and Kane, so. Yeah. So like for champ pool, Evelyn in solo queue as well should be getting banned out a lot. Your win rate is really high on her. Then you have Kane as backup, I assume. We need like a third champ, which is your Kha'Zix, right? Why do you think you perform so poorly on Kha'Zix? Because on Kane and Evelyn you have like 12.3 kills average. On Kha'Zix you have half the kills. Your CS is lower. Your deaths aren't that low. I mean that high. They're like fine.
I think it's because whenever I play Kha'Zix, like some of the time I'll play like the assassin like full lethality style, and then some of the time I'll do the like the Gore Drinker Cleaver like fighter style Kha'Zix, and I don't feel like I do as well whenever I try to do the like fighter somewhat beefier style of Kha'Zix.
Yeah, I mean I don't think you should have an issue playing squishy Kha'Zix because you play Evelyn a lot. So like. Also, your Cho'Gath jungle, what's up with that? I saw you play like 3 games or something about it.
It was just one of the games where I don't really have because I think I own like 6 junglers on this account,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Eve, Kane, Kha'Zix. I didn't play Kane because he felt horrible after the nerfs they gave him. So glad they hotfixed that. And I don't remember why. It didn't feel like a good game for Mundo. I'm pretty sure it felt like we needed CCO.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just the one I played.
Yeah. So what I think is important for you is to be able to play 6 champs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want you to take 5 bans and not have anything. And I also don't want you to play 10 champs because that is what you're kind of doing right now. And I think it's really bad. And if you want to get better at this game, you can't run around and like waste time. So like, I think Graves is really great for you, and you should learn this champ. Graves is one of those champs that every single jungler loves to play. So whenever it's kind of like the Akali of jungle, like Akali and Syndra and Ori, people in mid lane they love to play these champs. So like, they can never be weak because people will perma complain. So Riot is forced to make them meta. Graves is kind of similar. And
I hate watching Worlds when Graves is like pick or ban every game, because it's like him and Lee Sin are the 2 jungle champions I can't stand.
yeah, but the thing is, you told me you like to outpace enemy jungle, and that is exactly what Graves does. So
Which style of Graves do you think is better right now? Like the Negan like full lifesteal Graves? Or
I think for lane, I think the lifesteal is better. I think for jungle, I don't think the lifesteal is that good.
Okay.
I know Selfmade talked about this as well, and I agree basically with what he said. I think that for jungle, lethality in a lot of cases is better. You can play lifesteal Graves in jungle, and it's not bad. Like, it's for sure a good build on Graves. It's just it makes a lot more sense in laning because of how you're gonna be playing. Like, for example, running around the jungle with a Vampire Acceptor doesn't make more sense to me. Whereas if I have Serrated Dirk, I can now blast enemy jungle, right? If I'm playing a lane Graves, like mid lane or top lane Graves, and I have lifesteal build, I can 1v1 anyone, and nobody can match me in side lane. I don't get that benefit really as a jungler, because I can't permanently side lane as if I'm laning. So yeah, I like lifesteal Graves more. I mean lethality more, but I think lifesteal is easier to play. It's more forgiving, it's harder to fuck up with it.
Is it still like Eclipse in the Collector?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, like I said, you can do both. It's kind of down to personal preference, but I would play lethality. Rengar, you don't need to play him. You already play Kha'Zix, Evelyn, and Kane. You have enough assassins. I assume you also play Blue Kane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ivern, I think it's really OP. I just don't think it makes much sense for you to play it. I would only really play Ivern if the players that you're playing with on your team are way better than you.
Yeah, I feel that.
Are they?
No, not at all.
Yeah, so then you should not be playing Ivern.
Yeah, it's one of the issues where like I know this kind of gets memed on, but like one of the NA mentalities is like, you know, you give everybody a chance and basically it's all sharing. It's not just let's play around who's the best player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whenever you try to bring that up, it turns into a fight and then everybody hates you.
Yeah, but just say you can't play Ivern. Like, just lie. Because they also don't want you to first time Ivern. You know? Like,
Yeah,
you can just say, I don't feel comfortable playing Ivern. I'm so bad Ivern, guys. I will troll with Ivern. I am so bad. And then they're just gonna force you on a carry, and you're gonna carry. Like,
I know it's kind of troll. I've also been playing a lot of Kai'Sa jungle though.
yeah.
It typically does really well.
I mean, I played it myself. I think it's strong, but in a game where everyone has voice comms, you should get level 1 invaded and fucked over really hard.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, I think that your champ pool should be Evelynn, Ka, Kayn, Lilia, Graves. Then we need to think of the 6th.
Are you leaning more towards like another AD champion or?
I mean, it can be AP or AD. Like, you have Evelynn for AP and Lilia for AP. You have 3 AD so far, so it could just be AP. Just like champions that clear quickly and can do stuff, like Talia. If you want a more tankier one that just clears and outpaces the enemy jungle, a fun one is Udyr. I think he's quite good right now.
I haven't actually played him since they did like the Phoenix Dance buff.
Yeah, Echo is pretty good right now. Echo is quite good after they buffed his clear. Like, they really over buffed his clear.
I actually played one game with him after the buffs, and like, it probably could have been because the game went bad before I was actually able to do something, but it didn't feel that much different than he was before. I think it was last year's Worlds when Echo Jungle was popular.
I mean, his clear is better now. Like, they buffed it more than what it was then. One thing as well that I would do is I would go for Hex Flash. You can do really nasty things with Hex Flash on Echo. I did show Blubber this. Let me see if I can find a video I made for him. Wait.
Is it just Echo specifically, or is that something you can do? Should do on other junglers?
I mean, some champions like Xin Zhao can use it well. But
That actually sounds kind of disgusting.
But like, this is Echo specific. Right, so on Echo, right, what enemy players should do if they are like actually like good at the game is they should hug topside, right? Because they always know what side you're on. So they will hug topside now, and you can't play the game, right? But with Hex Flash, you can. See, it's so nice.
Yeah, that's...
Because if you don't have Hex Flash, I will have to use my E to here, and then now I can't do anything. You can do this on many places. So I think it's so good.
Do you go Proto on Echo Jungle, or...?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do Harvester, but I think Proto is just so good on this champ.
I've noticed a lot of junglers like really enjoy Proto over Harvester, except for like Fiddlesticks.
Yeah. So like, I just Hex Flash over, and then we E. And I think it's just so OP, and it fixes basically one of the big issues that Echo had. Like, people would just hug complete opposite side of you. And you could just fix it by doing the Hex Flash. You know? Because otherwise this has to happen. And that is never going to work versus good players.
Makes sense. What do you think about Fiddlesticks?
Underrated as fuck. He was really good, at least, before the changes. I have no clue about him right now. But he was... I really liked Fiddle. At least before the changes. So if he's still good, then he's still good.
Like, he seems extremely strong. Like, just the ability to get like 1500 damage off and CC with just your R's.
Yeah, I mean, he's really strong at what he does. If enemy team has like an engage comp, he's really OP because the enemy team that is engaging, they always have to think, well, what if Fiddle is here now? Right? Like, what if enemy team just engages into here, and then you're standing here, you kill their entire backline. I think Fiddle is good. I think Fiddle, Echo, Talia are like the 3 AP champs you should consider.
Okay.
Because we need a 6th champ, otherwise people figure out that, oh yeah, he plays these 5 and then they ban these and then... Hecarim is okay, but he lost a lot of power lately.
Yeah, Hecarim feels a lot weaker after the
Yeah.
nerfs.
He is a lot weaker now. Kindred is okay.
I also thought it was kind of nutty that like Hecarim could get almost 10 CS a minute by just clearing his camps and cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how much of solo queue do you think is like trying to control your teammates' mental?
Don't think it's necessary. Because the thing is, right, like, you have 2 types of tilters. You have the ones that are just gonna tilt and continue playing, and then you have the ones that are gonna tilt and troll, right? Very rarely have I been able, because I've tried a lot to like fix my teammates' mental, and I can't remember a time where a guy is like this crazy that he will fucking int the game, and then I managed to calm him down. Right? It's just not possible. And then like I said, the first people that aren't gonna troll you and they're just gonna tilt, what's the point in calming those people down? Right? If you're not gonna int.
One of the reasons I mention it is like I used to be like a big Morgana jungle advocate, and then she kind of got gutted by preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And like it took a while to convince a lot of my teammates that it actually works, until we played a tournament match. Our mid laner's power went out and we won the game 4v5, and I dropped 30 kills as a Morg.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, we get it. It actually works.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Solo people flame when they see it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in solo queue, I was flamed all the time for playing Veigar bot lane.
And then, is this before the whole cycle of worlds with like mages bot? Or?
Yeah, of course. When I played Garen Yumi bot lane, when I created that whole strategy, people were flaming that too, and then Reckless started playing it, because I showed him it, and then people are fine with it. Like, people are always like this with new picks. Like, there's no point, you know? Like,
Yeah,
all you have to do is just, like, when you're in champs, like, you just link your OPGG and show you have 5 wins on it or whatever, and leave it at that.
The whole Sona Lux thing didn't take off more than it did.
Yeah, I mean, the issue with Sona Lux compared to Sona Taric was that Sona Taric, you had somebody that could, like, face check and stuff like this, and get vision. When you have Sona Lux, you really want to make sure you have a carry jungler, like Graves or something. Or Kindred. So if you have Sona, Lux, and Kindred, who the fuck is gonna face tank?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why. It kind of sucks to not have a tank in there.
That's another champion I really enjoy that I have bad stats on is Kindred.
I mean, she's here.
It's a very weird champ to kind of pilot in solo queue.
In terms of what, the marks or?
People tend to like not like to pick frontline.
I mean, none of your champs are frontline, so who cares?
Yeah, true.
I don't think that matters that much. I think the only annoying thing about Kindred and solo queue is that sometimes your laners aren't playing the way that they should based on your marks and stuff, so you sometimes don't get marks that you should get. I think that's the only annoying part. Not having a frontline, like, sure, it's annoying, but if that's an issue, that's because you picked Kindred in a wrong game. Like, if enemy team has, like, let's say they have, like, this. Yeah, I understand it's annoying to not have a frontline.
Yeah.
But, like, why the fuck are you playing Kindred here? You can't auto anybody.
Yeah,
you know?
I felt that.
Because, like, if they have this... Why do I need a frontline here? Right? I can just kite them. You get what I mean?
Yeah, you just just Q out of the side, let's see, and then you're
Yeah.
free to go.
Yeah. So it's like, it kind of just depends, you know, like if you see they have so much range and you're picking Kindred, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure already. So the front line thing doesn't matter.
How important do you think dodging is?
It's quite important. I think depends in what sense it's important. I think that some games are just flat out lost and you should dodge them. Yeah. I think that some games are a bit more challenging, but you should still play them because you can learn from it. You know? Like, let's say you play Eve and then your top laner picks Kennen, your mid picks Zoe. I would dodge that game.
The 3AP topside is Cancer.
Yeah, but let's say I'm playing Evelynn and my laners have bad matchups, but I have a fine matchup. Sure, it's bad for my teammates, right? But I would still play that game because even though it's a little bit challenging, I can learn from it. So I would dodge games that looks completely doomed.
Would you dodge more based on like the champions that are locked in, or like more account specific stats?
Both. Like, if I see that my top laner is playing first time Teemo, right? And everybody else on my teammates, everyone else on my team aren't doing too hot, or they don't have the best matchups, I would dodge. Because we probably can't carry the troll, right?
Because that's one of the things I know that could probably help me more that I don't do is like, you probably realize with me talking about how long the upload would take, but like I don't really have the best internet where I'm at. We can't really get better internet, so like I can't actually like open op.gg and champ select and like paste the link and check out everybody's stats before the game starts.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I just wanted to ask and get your thoughts on, because it's obviously insightful.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts you a little bit, but in the end, the first time I got Challenger, I didn't even know what OPGG was, so... Like...
Gotcha. Also, do you think there's a bad time to play ranked?
Yes and no, like I thought about this before. I think that certain champions are better. I think your champ pool is probably better at night. Because people are more tired. But then again, it's like, what's best for you? You know, because if you're also tired at night, then that's also bad. I know a Katarina one trick that would wake up at like 12 in night and just start queuing up. And he would be ready, right? And everybody else would be tired and he would get fed every game.
Respect.
So, yeah. But then again, it's like, you're best off just making sure you're ready, you know? That's the most important thing.
One of the reasons I mention it is because it seems like around like the or like 11 to midnight, like my time, that's when specifically on like this account you get a lot of like the level 30 or 40 accounts that are just smurfing.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where like I question, is it worth playing at this time to play against these people and have a greater chance of losing?
Yeah, I mean, if you can avoid them, you probably should. But then again, you could also learn playing versus better players too.
Like, just because it's an experience I think is somewhat helpful. Last year, we ended up scrimming one of the better colleges near us, and their jungler was Challenger. Like, I think he was like rank 130 at the time. And it's probably like the hardest game I've ever played, but I've learned so much from it. Just because like you get to see what somebody who's actually good at the game can do against you. Like, this is back before IG won World, so like Camille jungle was like really broken. And we played the Kha'Zix Camille matchup, like both sides. I played Kha'Zix one game, I played Camille, he played Camille, and then vice versa.
He stomped you both sides?
Yeah. Like, every game was a fight at my red buff that he, like, just straight up destroyed me at.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's really good to play versus better players to learn from it. Like, yeah, it might make you lose some LP, right? But if you lost 20 LP, but you learned more than what you did the last 100 games you played, then you should be able to get your LP back, right? If you implement what you've learned. Make sense?
Also, what are your thoughts on solo versus duo?
Duo is really good for climbing. Duo can be good for learning if you guys like talk about the game a lot after the game and stuff. You know, maybe review sometimes together. That can be really helpful and good. If it's just like duoing with a friend who's better, it's basically like getting boosted.
Because one of the reasons that I mentioned is like whenever I hit D3, I was duoing with like a Fizzo TPO. And then we stopped and he dropped like from D2 down to plat 4 in a week.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing as well. Like, it's a different game to play with the. It's a different game to play with the same mid laner every game. Than to play with somebody else.
Like, I question whether or not I'm actually improving, or whether it's like us as a duo is getting better, and we're climbing because of being a duo and not just being two players who deserve to be higher.
Yeah.
Also trust issues, but
I mean, the best way of getting better, in my opinion, is just to play solo. Because then you get a big, like a wider understanding of the game. You know, like if you are gonna duo this Fiora, right, 20 games, you know that he plays this exact same way. He's gonna come and help you because you're duo, blah blah blah. So, yeah. Looking at this, like everything going on, what is like your plan? Because we need to have a plan as a jungler.
honestly, I was hoping because Fiora hovering Riven and James Select, she probably plays Riven and knows how to play against Riven. If I would have checked her stats beforehand, I would have noticed she only played one game of Riven, so that wouldn't have been the case. But the plan was just obviously ward the entrance to my red side. I don't think I'd get invaded by a Rammus, but it's happened before. So I figured plan for it just in case, and then
yeah.
blue cycle.
And you don't need your ward anyway, so you might as well.
One of the things I've noticed that like I enjoy doing is keeping the ward instead of getting sweeper on Eve, unless I'm against like a Shaco or something, to where I need the sweeper. Is that okay, or?
Why do you want to do that? Because you feel safer with wards, or?
I like to be able to like use stealth and go in and get vision in places that we normally can't without potentially getting caught.
Yeah, but sure, but then it's like your laners are gonna have yellow trinket, so only Bard will have sweeper then. So you are giving enemy a lot of vision. So.
Okay.
Like enemy laners will have so much more vision than what they normally should, and I don't feel like that's worth.
Okay.
And for the same reason, what you said applies to sweeper too, right? You're able to get deep and like sweep wards normally you wouldn't. So it goes both ways.
Okay.
On the whole Fiora thing, I don't think you should judge matchups like that unless the guy's like smurfing. You know, like if you see like, okay, this Fiora is 90% win rate, right? You should assume he knows what he's doing. That's fine. But just because he hovered Riven doesn't mean he's fucking Adrian Riven. Okay?
Yeah.
What else?
I know mid's gonna be very hard, because obviously range into melee and Victor's kind of nuts right now.
Yeah, Victor is strong. Your Akali has Ignite enemy, Victor has Barrier, so he doesn't have TP. He may burn himself at some point and struggle to get a recall off. You might be able to impact that. Akali has Fleet and D-Shield, she has a lot of sustain. But yeah, enemy should have push in mid. What do you think about bot lane?
Bot lane, I honestly have no clue, because I feel like the lane can go either way, basically depending on if one AD or the support is just straight up better than the other and actually knows how to poke and trade effectively.
I think that Seraphine is okay, but I think that Kai'Sa is really, really strong, and Vayne shouldn't really be able to get in range to continue to poke. So I think pathing down to bot lane is your best bet here. It's also your lane with the most setup. As Evelynn, I like to be very greedy, so I want to make sure that I can get a crab, or I'm likely to get a crab, and I think that I'm way more likely to not only win a fight, but also get crab if I path down to bot. What do you think?
That
Like,
makes sense.
you decided to start blue buff this game, and like, why is that?
One of the main reasons I know it's kind of a habit is it feels a lot easier to gank top than it does to gank bot lane. Just
Yeah.
because the 2-on-1 compared to the 3-on-2. Unless, of course, like the enemy support is something that has a very, our support is something that has a very easy go button, like Nautilus, Thresh, Leona, etc.
I mean, do you think your Fiora has good setup for you?
No, but I think it'll be a lot easier to get behind Riven than it will be to get behind Vayne and Seraphine.
Yeah. But the thing is that if you path down to bot lane, right? Let's say your bot lane is pushing. You now get to AFK clear and get bot crab, right?
True.
And let's say they're not pushing, well then you are behind enemy bot lane. Right? So either way it's a win-win. Meanwhile in top lane, if Fiora is pushing, sure you can try to get top grab, but if Rammus comes and Fiora comes and Riven comes, you guys probably lose. It's not going to be as close. I think I think your bot side is just much stronger than your Fiora.
Makes sense.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it was very, very bad of a one play.
I mean, when he does that, I would just recall and get sweeper. And just take the ward. Like, if you just reset here and just get sweeper. Like, you have no CC, I don't know why you're trying to kill him. Because if you just resetted, get sweeper, you'd be running right now. And, like, sweeping the ward right now, you'd be sweeping it. And giving your top and mid level 2. So,
Yeah, it's...
yeah. Your teammate ended up winning though, so that's nice. What's your runes, by the way?
Electrocute, Sudden Impact, Eyeball, Relentless, and then boost CDR. And the Inspiration Tree.
Do you like this one still? Because before, of course, this was before good. Now I don't feel like it's as good on Evelynn.
I've noticed Proto specifically, a lot of the times I pretty much use it on cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically like mid to late game.
Yeah.
And, like a lot of the time, like I just whenever I like have or look for advice on Eve, I've just watch Malice's stream.
Mm-hmm.
Or see what he does.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people still like the precision secondary like Coup de Grace and Triumph.
I mean, I like the Absolute Focus version more.
What, like Absolute Focus Gathering Storm, or...?
No, like Absolute Focus Nimbus, for example.
Okay.
But, like, I can see it with Protobelt, that this is, like, okay. It's just important to remember that they removed the CDR.
Yeah, it's item haste now instead of...
Yeah. I mean, Evelynn uses Flash really well because enemy has no counterplay if you charm them and Flash on them, so... it's not that bad. It's worse on Kha'Zix. Like, on Kha'Zix, this was also good, like this and this. But for Kha'Zix, I would for sure go Absolute Nimbus now, because that champ also uses Nimbus better.
Gotcha.
I think I played Kha'Zix on my Smurf the other day.
Is Nimbus just straight up better than Gathering Storm now? On the junglers who used to run like Absolute Gathering?
I mean, I think Gathering's just shit rune for junglers. It makes no sense to go with. Like, this is my page on Kha'Zix. You can go double adaptive if you want. But yeah.
Okay. I've noticed that's what a lot of people do, is they go double adaptive, and if they run Conquer, they have Alacrity.
Yeah. I mean, Alacrity is okay if you don't need Tenacity. if you're gonna end up smiting the Grump, you should smite it already now. Instead of doing Q on it, like that.
Doesn't Gromp do the percentage HP damage, or did that get removed?
What do you mean? Like, on your HP?
Yeah, I thought Gromp did percentage HP damage.
It never did that. I don't know why Malice has said this. You got that from Malice, right? Or...
no, I'm pretty sure I heard it from somebody before I even found out who Malice was.
Because I'm pretty sure, like, Malice has been saying to not use your potions while doing Grump or something. When... yeah, that has never, like, been a thing. Killing Grump restores 60 HP, mana on kill. So, that's great. Up to 100% base on missing health. So, like, you heal more.
Where does it say the damage stats? Or does it not say it?
Maybe we can find it somewhere. Yeah, it does somewhere. It just says here that it...
That's one of the things where I could understand either way. I just was under the impression that it did.
It doesn't. The only thing is, like, your smite will deal more. If you smite, like, you're not level 2 yet, so just get level 2 and then just smite it. Because it doesn't deal.
Is there a reason why you wanted to smite earlier than later?
Because you wanted to start moving towards you. You know, like, let's say you started red buff, right? Let's say you started red buff and you're already level 3, and your smite isn't gonna go higher because you're not gonna get level 4 of killing blue. You can just smite it to make it come to you, so you can continue to use spells on the buff you're killing. You know? Because like here, if you smite now, they would deal 390. Whereas like it would deal 410 instead. So like you should smite now, because if you look, like 60 HP on you, 60 again, see? It does nothing based on like your HP. It always does 60. It's just fucking bullshit.
Okay.
I think I've had... Yeah, I've had to explain this to, like, I don't know, so many people, because they always got it from Malice. I don't know who you got it from, but yeah.
It could have been from Malice. Or from LS that got it from Malice.
Yeah. It's never done that. It's just, Grump used to, like, attack faster at the start. So that's maybe why people thought that or something. Do you level... What did you say?
Do you think LS and Malice are, like, good sources of information, or...?
Yeah, I think so. I just think everyone can be wrong sometimes.
Makes
you know?
Sense.
But I think they're for sure worse people to get information from. I think they're good and smart, yeah. Especially LS. I think Malice is smart at the things he knows. Do you always skill clicking?
Yeah. Some of the time, like if I'm in a team fight, I'll do the control and then the ability. But
Yeah.
all the time, if it's not like a high tempo scenario, I just click it.
I mean, you should always just do control.
Okay.
Because like here, like your cursor is moving, whereas I would be looking at top lane or mid lane right now, you know? Looking at like important stuff. Now you only had time to look at mid lane. We couldn't even see like what was really happening top. And as you can see, your bot lane has push. And we are topside, so we can't get bot crab. Hopefully Rammus goes top crab. I would leave here. I think you're wasting time. Like, this is all you need to do. Like, as soon as Akali is fine. Like, our goal here, right? And another thing is, what CS is Rammus now? Like, when he shows himself, check this. It's so important, because that will help you know what the fuck just happened now. Because does he now do top crab and then go mid? What do you say?
I'm kind of surprised I didn't, because I typically do whenever I see the enemy jungler. Try to keep track of what camps they've done.
Yeah, but then you should, because if you didn't do that game, that means you don't have it as a habit. It doesn't matter if you do it 70% of your games, you should do it like 99. You know? And I really doubt that this is the 1% you don't do it.
True.
Because right now we need to know, okay, did he actually do top grab, right? And he probably did, because he didn't gank mid right now. But it's good to just be sure. But yeah, we can assume top crab is gone right now. So it would be a real disaster if he also goes bot crab. So we don't want to waste time. So we go mid, I agree, this is fine. And then now you should just leave. Like, unless you want to flash on him now, you should just leave. Because no way, even if this hit him, right, he's not going to die here. So.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you're doing. You're just wasting time. Yeah, this is good pings by you.
So,
I
it's
would
just one of those things
I would ward here.
you just leave after Akali's save.
Yeah, you need to understand why we were coming, right? We were coming to make sure that Rammus doesn't kill her. You know?
Is there a reason why you ward there and you don't ward further up near Raptors?
In the Raptors, you mean? Because
Closer to where you can see, like, you can see the intersection between like mid and red buff, not mid and red buff. The one Raptor.
You mean here?
Buff.
Like this bush?
Yeah, closer. Yeah, closer to it, to where you can see if somebody like if Ramus walks out of it.
You can do it. The thing is just that if you do it too deep, he has a blind spot here. And you will waste a lot of time running here. I would do it actually here just because your charm is on cooldown, but if charm would be up, I wouldn't do it. You know?
Okay, that makes sense.
Because like here, I could charm it and ward here. And then I have all the vision I need. But since my charms are cooldown, yeah, I would walk up. I would honestly like try to maybe see if I can sneak away his raptors. But to do that, I need to make sure I know how long do I have this bot prio for. Because if I only have bot prio for 10 seconds, I can only afford to do this. But if I have bot prio for like, let's say 20, right? Then I can go here, see if I can maybe steal away raptors and then still get this. Because we know raptors are up, because somebody warded it here, see? So, yeah. We know they are up. And we should look to take them. Like, look how low Victor is. So yeah, we have Smite up. I feel like we should try to take them away from him. Because he shouldn't be allowed to contest this crab after. This ward is awful. Like, really, really bad. Like, compared to what you could have had. Because, like, let's say this ward here is going to expire soon, probably. I didn't see when it got placed. But when this gets expired, your Akali doesn't have vision in river. Meanwhile, the ward I told you to do, she has vision here, like you did, but also in river. It's just so much better. So now we can assume that Rammus is going to Krugs and gonna gank bot after. So we could take Gromp and then look to counter gank bot through the bot bush. You should stop zooming in.
I think I was alt tabbed during this. There was a reason why I zoomed in. I don't remember what it was.
So what I'm thinking now is like, Rammus should be here, and enemy bot lane is slow pushing into you. So we have the option to one, full clear to top, which is the most reliable play because 100% of the time you're gonna get all your top camps now, and it's gonna be really good for yourself. Or we can two, take Gromp and run bot into this bush and gank bot. So what should we do? Well, I would clear to top here, just because I don't have the greatest of setup bot lane, and enemy bot still has sums. Meanwhile, if bot lane now are slow pushing into us like this, and I have better setup in bot lane, like let's say maybe I have an Ashe ADC and like a Leona as my support, and I know maybe enemy doesn't have flash, I would run bot push here after Grump.
I know there's a lot of the time where like I kind of AFK farm more than I should.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing for the champs you're playing. It's just you need to be aware of what's happening. Like here, like I said, this ward, you should pay attention to when it's even expiring, because I'm really worried pathing to my top side here, knowing that Rammus is on Krugs, and my bot lane are playing aggressive because they're freezing. So if Rammus ganks bot, and my bot lane dies here, this huge wave, together with the wave that's here as well, will crash under turret, and my bot lane will lose so much. So I wanted you here to just pay more attention to like what's happening bot lane, like see if Seraphine is like warding the lane bushes, like are they warding the lane bushes, like maybe you could, they already know your bot side right now. The only downside of using these is that you show your location, but they know you were bot side, because you showed mid and went back to bot crab. So I would use this now into this bush, and then as I'm clearing this, pay attention to like Seraphine and Vayne, like are they warding somewhere? Because if I see that they didn't ward here, I could go through there as well. Make sense? Now if Rammus shows bot lane on this timer, you can just take his top side. Since he's not showing, we should just assume that he's just running top. He showed mid here from top side. Again, update your CS number tracking, because I think he's just really turbo flipping the entire game. Like, I think this guy's no clue about puffing. Like, he's level 4 now, like, you...
Do you think there's a time when, like taking the enemy jungler's camps are bad because you make them respawn at a higher level? Or is it always better because of XP lead?
I think you get yourself such a lead, and you should be confident that you are better than the enemy. That it should be fine. It also just depends whether you're gonna return there or not, right? So like you could, for example, go his top side and just leave the small wolf up if you don't think you're gonna go there again. You know? Like here, you press tab. Let me just see. Yeah, so he has 28. We know his raptors are gone, and like I said, Krug should have been taken. I don't think he took his top side though. I think they could be up. So I think he's just like flipping it here for like a bot gank or something. Like running around like this. I mean, it's possible maybe raptors are up, because maybe he's hiding on the wall, but I really doubt it. They look gone. Yeah, so I think he's...
The symbol was up before he took them, so...
Yeah, I mean here, like, is this where you die?
I believe so.
Because, I mean, you're really useless here. Like, you're not a champion.
Yeah, like, moments where I feel like as soon as I see Theo die, I should have just left.
Yeah, I mean, we are already, like, we haven't reset. This is perfect timer to recall. Because we are not sure, because we didn't track CS earlier. It's very possible this is all gone. Most likely it is, because 28 is quite high. But you have a lot, so, like, right now you should just reset. And then we know when he did take these, so if you just recall now, and go here, you are there right on Raptor's spawn. And this will work like so much in this elo, because he's not gonna be there on Raptor spawn. Make sense?
Okay.
So I would just recall here. Like, it makes no sense why you want to gank Riven when she has a monster wave. You are not level 6, you have low mana, and you have 1.6k.
Yeah, it's definitely just...
And you're also baiting Fiora really hard, by the way. Like, if I'm Fiora, I think it's fine for me now to take this trade because Evelynn is shadowing. You should have no interest in ganking this. And you need to have a clear plan, because if you did have a clear plan of just resetting here, you wouldn't help Fiora when she pinged. Fiora's pinging here, you should ignore it. Why the fuck do we want to gank now? There you go. Look at the minimap. Raptors are up right now. Look. Here Raptor spawn. Is Rammus there on spawn? No. He's ganking bot. So imagine we're on the map now. We take his Raptors. Because we could have. If we didn't die, we would be on his Raptors right now. Getting 6. And then we could kill Victor. Right now. Akali is all-inning Victor. So his death is really a disaster. And all these players in this elo, and honestly, even in Challenger, they are not aware of protecting their own jungle camps and preventing getting out jungled. So, like, that's really like how you should be playing jungle, because it's the most consistent way as well. Like, now we're just like, Rammus is like perma ganking everywhere, and you're not like level 7, you know? Like, you should be close to 7 right now. You should have alternator, like you.
How much value do you put on like watching like I know there's the one Challenger Replays YouTube channel that like uploads like Masters Plus VODs for each region.
I mean, you shouldn't watch master players. If you're gonna watch anything, you should just watch like players that are known for being good. Like Selfmade for jungle, Jankos, etc. You see, like, he's here 30 seconds after they spawn, and he's still like fucking walking past it, you know, like, this guy's just handing you the win, you know?
Yeah.
But you're like overcomplicating the game so hard. Like, these players have no clue what they're doing. You have no reason to gank the Riven. See, top lane is just doomed. Of course, the ward not hitting the bush is really bad, but who cares? Yeah, I don't know why you wanted to continue. Like, pretty sure we saw him have red buff. Like, look. When you see stuff like this, like, just think about it. Or, like, something that helps some people is, like, just speak to yourself while you're playing. Like, IRL, like, legit just say with your voice here, okay, Rammus is red. Because that can help you register things like this. Because it's really greedy for you to go into the red buff area. Because by going here, you're blocking yourself off. Rammus can come here, enemy bot lane can come here. So it's really greedy. And there's no reason to risk it because it's gone.
Yeah, one of the things that like I was thinking was because typically people don't like the junglers don't actually go mid to catch the wave if their laner is like dead or not there. So I thought he saw me on the pink and he was waiting in the bush, and that if he started the raptors I can actually kill him while he's trying to take raptors.
Yeah, but now why the fuck are you walking red buff?
Yeah, this I have no clue.
What do you do now if enemy bot lane just comes here and just kills you?
Dire blow cooldowns. Like, have to waste R to get away.
Yeah, and that's fucking bad because you're achieving nothing. Like, right now we should be on our blue buff. Like, I don't know what you're doing here. Like, Kai'Sa's pushing bot wave. We can see they're clearly recall. I would gank them on next wave. Like, I'll take blue and then gank.
Gotcha.
Because now we just need to sit to wait. Because, like, this gank will work if they walk up. Right? And we could have just started blue. But again, you're so late anyways. So whatever. Do you think we needed to W her?
No.
Also, don't you think, like, how used to are you to the smites? Because I want you to smite here. Like, I was gonna say here to smite. Because you need to get your smite. Yeah, you need to get your smite. Your blue smite.
Yeah, like, that's one of the things I've noticed I've been having an issue with, is there's a lot of times where I just won't, like, don't smite the camps as soon as I should to get the smite item finished.
Yeah, you need to get the smite item. Because here you should have smite ready. You should have blue smite, one available. Because the thing with Evelynn is, like, if you do W and then smite Q, right? That's really nice, easy way to catch people.
Yeah, and it guarantees the charm on Seraphine here.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier.
But since you don't have blue smite, I don't see why you would charm. Like, I would just continue to walk here. I also think your positioning is bad. You should get behind them. Like, I don't know why you're walking here. I think you should just be walking into the bush, like, behind them. Like this. You know?
Yep.
Like, they're never gonna walk over here. So either you should be standing here, or go here. Another thing that you're really bad at is tracking vision. Because you should realize that the best way to get them is standing in the tri-bush. Because if you stand in tri-bush, we can gank them if they run here. But we can also gank them if they run here. Right? But, so, have they warded tri-bush? Look where Seraphine walks.
Nope,
They-
haven't. 'Cause
they
she
have
went
not.
straight through lane.
Yeah. She walked straight through lane, and not only that, she walked straight to lane through bot side. No normal human walks like this, wards, and then walks like that, and then down bot side, and then like that. Right? Like,
That's too.
say Seraphine went missing for 2 seconds there, but she still came from here. They have never warded Tribush. So with that information, we know that 20 seconds ago this was not pinged. It is still not pinged. You should have just ran here, and then just walk here, and then that way they're fucked regardless. If you see them run here, you just catch them. If they run down here, you come here, you kill them. So you need to get better at tracking like where they place wards and where they're moving and what it means. Because this is really, really disaster. Because like look all your camps up that you decide to not clear. Because all the time you're spending bot lane here, we could have cleared our entire bot side, right? So it's really, really, really important that these things work. And like I said, I don't think this play is bad. I think we should have been able to take blue buff, because if you just did Raptors and ran straight to blue, we could have done blue and then done the same thing, and that would have been better. But the idea is right. The wave was here, it's slow pushing in, these guys have to kind of overextend. So it's good timer to gank them, but you have no reason to be here. Like the only time you should ever be here is if you have no clue if there's a pink here, and you just did Gromp and you're coming from lane. But you had access, you were here, you were walking around here, you know they have no vision. You know already here, this wave is gonna bounce to your teammates. See? You should look at Kai'Sa and you can realize it even more. With that knowledge, you know they have to overextend. I would never take Drake here, by the way. Like, with all my camps being up like this, I would only take Drake if Rammus is taking my top side right now. Do we know where Rammus is?
Nope.
Okay. Because this Drake really doesn't matter that much.
That's another big habit like I tend to do is there's a lot of times I'll get big and I won't take drakes because I haven't been like, to be honest, I don't know what the thought process is. But there are games where like I won't get drakes, and although like the enemy jungler's behind, when their team has 2 drakes up, it's like feels like I'm kind of somewhat throwing the lead.
How are you? How are you throwing a lead? What?
It just like it could be one of those things where like it just feels bad letting them get closer to soul.
Yeah, I mean, the soul is what matters. The stackable drakes is what matters. This drake is like, yeah, it's nice to have, yeah. Doesn't make that much of a difference, though. And the question is also, like, if you didn't do Drake, right? We would be done with entire bot side, we'd be taking our top side right now. And then let's say Rammus now runs bot and takes Drake. Can't you also take his top side too, then? So not only do we get our entire bot side 1 minute before him, and we can also take his top side with it as well. Personally, you gain way more doing this. So I like to stall drakes a bit more if my camps are up and try to get myself more ahead, especially if I know enemy jungler is not in a position where he can take Drake. Rammus is not going to run and solo Drake, right? So for him to get Drake, your teammates need to die. And yeah, like Riven is proxying top side, and Rammus could be in your top side right now. You can't do anything. Your bar is looking for play mid. You can't join it because you were spending Drake, so now you have to clear your jungle. Enemy Raptors are back up, and you're not there on spawn. See, like I told you, this should be gone. See, he's doing this. Like, you're so behind in tempo because of Drake. Yeah, like I said, I would have looked for the Raptors. I don't know what you're doing. Like, I think you need to realize, like, enemy bot side is your side and this is their side. You know? Like, this side is fucking disaster. It's not safe for you to walk around here with a level 10 Riven proxy farming here. So, honestly, like, since top side is so doomed, like, taking the Drake isn't that bad because you're not really wasting time, because you should have just taken this as well and taken bot side. Like, top side is just really doomed. You can't go there if Riven is like walking around. Thank God we killed Rammus at least, but because the thing about top lane, right? You're on an island, I agree. And sure, Riven is fed, right? But Riven can only do so much. She can only join so much fights. If you guys are diving bot lane, she can only come if she has teleport, right? So you guys are doing her a massive favor because you guys are all inviting yourself into her. You have the option to continue taking bot side and your bot side and get the same amount as you could top, while also now being able to play through your strong bot lane and gank bot lane and also gank mid. Instead you decide to enter dangerous area to get the same thing, but now massive risk, right? If I'm Riven this game, I can't carry if Evelynn is always forcing away from me. Right? That's why top lane feels so weak in a lot of games, because if enemy just chooses to ignore you, you can't do that much. Does that make sense? And like looking back at it, I think it was honestly really obvious, because if you look at this, right now we just took Drake. We see how Riven is playing, right? Like,
yeah, we see she's proxying.
Yeah, so Riven does a huge chunk of Fiora here. Kills Fiora. Now Fiora pushes. Riven pushes. Then Riven runs around, proxies, goes missing, keeps hitting turrets, runs inside your jungle. Riven ran into Krugs and ran into your jungle. You should have clicked on her and you would have seen it better. She went out of your jungle now and continues to proxy. She keeps going missing inside of your jungle. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go top side. Yeah, my red is probably gone, my Krugs are probably gone, it's probably all warded. Yeah, I'm gonna go top side. Even though we could have just ran mid here and run into enemy bot side and done fights around our bot lane, and then Riven has to at least teleport to join place, in which we always had the option to run, and then she's to 5 to 6 minute cooldown, and then it's really nice. And if Riven teleports and gets nothing, Fiora gets a little bit back into the game. You need to know your strong side. This is really, really troll. So in the end, like I said, we did end up killing Rammus, but Riven got another triple kill. So. Like here again. Go bot side here. Bot side. Yes, good. Thank you. Thank you. Nice, so now into his jungle. His jungle. Not Crab. His jungle first. Because the only, like, this Crab is not gonna disappear now. Your bot lane is gonna push here. Enemy bot lane is dead. They're not gonna take this. The only way that you lose this now is if you do Crab and then go here. Take his jungle first. You only take Crab first if it's contestable. Because now you have to sit and wait for the charm. Then you have to start to burst it. Now you have to run around a Q and auto it. And now we have to go into jungle, and Ram is probably recalled, and see, now we're like stressing out with good reason to. But if you just ran there instantly, because if you look where he was, see? He's just chilling. So right now you know they're dead. If you go into his jungle right now, you get his entire jungle and bot Crab. Instead now he is in base like right now. And it would be coin flip now to go into his jungle. Yep. And we failed to accomplish now what we want, so at this point the game is lost, because at this point Riven has gotten rid of her top turret, and she can now just run around and do whatever the fuck she wants, and yeah, Like, basically what you want to happen when one side is hard losing is try to aim to get as strong as this guy while playing away from him. Right? So of course you can't be level 12. That's hard. But you could be 11. Agree? If you play perfect. We could be level 11 and we could have taken bot turret and we could have completely annihilated them in bot side. Now this level 12 Riven has to deal with level 11 Evelynn, probably level 11 Akali, really fed bot lane as well. And it's really hard for her to carry them. But instead, since you guys have spent so much trying to shut the Riven down and wasting so much time, nobody's going to be able to shut her down. You know, like, what am I watching here, right? We're just trolling. So, like, there's not much more to talk about now throughout the rest of the game because you can't really do anything.
It's already lost by now.
Yeah.
Also, in regards to champ select, do you think it's fine to like blind pick, like something like Eve?
I think that jungle in general is a lot safer to blind pick than a lot of other things, but Evelynn specifically is a lot weaker blind compared to a lot of other champs.
Like, one of the things in particular I know is because, like, on this account I had like 5 games in a row where I was first pick blue side.
Mm-hmm.
And typically if I first pick Eve, it's almost always Kha'Zix on the other team.
Yeah, or Rengar.
Yeah, and you have to play around not getting invaded at your red.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Evelynn is not fun to blind pick, for sure.
Do you have a good way that it is, like, if you think you're gonna get invaded, to play around the invade?
Yeah, I like to puff down to bot lane because my support is most likely gonna be able to help me.
Okay, so you just path away from where you think the invade will happen? Or
yeah,
you just try to stay on bot side whenever the invade happens, if it's going to?
Yeah, like, let's say I think I'm gonna get invaded at red buff, right? Mm-hmm. I'll just start red buff and puff down to bot and make sure I will also have, like, vision so I'm not face checking him. And I will ping my support to cover. Because supports are the ones that are mainly gonna cover you and help you.
Okay. Because, like, I've tried the whole, like, red buff into blue and then path back up.
Yeah, but your puff is so garbage then.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
So, if you went red into blue, what do you recommend doing then for the path?
Well, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend doing it. Because if you do red into here, you're walking so far without doing any camps. And you're just leaving them, like, on delay. And now we have to run all the way like this. Like, it's not good. I think it's just much better to go like this, like normal. And then just ping for help and your support will come. Like, ping your support. Most of the time your support will come. If it doesn't come, you lose your blue buff, and honestly, I would rather lose one buff than my camps. You know?
Yeah.
Because my camps I can reset and keep taking. Buff is kind of like whatever. Like, if I do this, and now I realize he's taking this, right? And I see my teammates aren't coming for whatever reason, right? Like, maybe my bot lane is 2v2ing at this moment. Well, now I can just leave it and I can take top grab, right? And maybe I can get this Gromp too.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Like, looking at your gameplay, you like to sit and waste a lot of time. Like, I mean, like I said, at this point this game is lost, right? But there was a time here where something happened with you and Fiora. Yeah, here, yeah. Like, here, I would just run and take my camps, because we are not gonna kill Riven. But then you keep watching her, I don't know, like, as if Fiora's gonna, like, kill Riven here. Like, you see what I mean? Like, I would take red buff right now and try to get camps.
Pretty sure we saw Riven take the red.
No. See? Like, right now, I just run to your red.
Must have been earlier.
Look.
Yeah.
We know red buff is up. Fiora just walked past it. See, it's spawning. But you just, like, sit around and watch as if you think the level 10 Fiora is now gonna kill the 13 Riven. Like, what are you doing? You have no ulti. You waste so much time. And like I said, like, sure, yeah, the game is over here, but it's like common trend throughout the game. Like, you had super good recall timer here. Right here. Super good recall timer. If you just press recall right as you kill these. Like right now, it would be so good. Like after, I mean, but like on your second clear, when you died. Well, when the fuck did you die again? Oh yeah, that was early game. Yeah. Here, I mean, here.
That was level 1.
Yeah, here. Here, so good recall timer. His raptors are spawning. If you recall right now and you run raptors, you get here right when they spawn. Akali has push. She's level 6. So if she all-ins, you're there. She'll be able to fight with you because it's her spike. So if Rammus contests the raptors, your Akali is level 6. She can help you. So you'll get the raptors. Probably even get the Krugs as well. If things go as it should go. But worst case, you just get raptors and you full clear again. And the game is honestly GG. You're 2 levels ahead of Rammus just from this. Instead you just do this. Like what? Like it's like, let's say you kill Riven, right? If I'm Riven, I don't care. I just crash the wave anyways, you know? Like let's say you kill her. Is Fiora gonna kill all of these creeps and the next wave before Riven comes back?
Nope.
No. So Riven loses nothing. Like, and if you pay more attention to it as you're clearing it, you realize how doomed it is. Your Fiora has already died once or twice. Riven has a fucking monster wave, and you have nothing. If you press tab as well as you're clearing, you can like look at items. It's doomed. It's fucking doomed. It's fucking doomed. It's doomed.
Would you say this is the play that probably lost the game?
It lost your ability to carry in early game, yes, because now we're not playing from a position where we're ahead. We're playing now from behind and needing to catch up. Because remember what I said, when this guy started chain inting, it's a race between you and Riven. You know? You need to match Riven in strength. While creating a winning mid and bot side, so that when she runs around and groups later on, you have teammates that can deal with her. Instead you run into your weak side and kill yourself. And the higher elo you get, the more games will be like this, because players get to the skill where they are able to like beat each other more and snowball harder. So you're gonna have times where enemy has Darius One Trick who's like 2-0. You don't gank him unless it's really free. And by free I mean like you're not losing much by ganking it. Maybe you have all the tools needed, like you have flash and ult, and maybe you have Akali with you, right? Here you don't have Fiora ulti when you do this. You don't have ulti. You don't have items. Like, it's really troll. So yeah. Do you have any questions?
Yes. What was the options for the 6th champ? I know you said like Echo, Kindred.
Yeah, Echo, Kindred, Talia.
Is Fiddlesticks an okay option?
Yeah. Fiddle was the last one. Fiddlesticks, Echo, Talia, Kindred are the ones I can think of right now that I think is good. I think that Talia, Kindred fits your type of like playstyle more of like what you were saying, but I do think Fiddle is super good and it's not bad. I really like Fiddle.
One of the things that like I've noticed as a player is like, for example, I've played multiple roles. Like I used to be a mid laner. The first year I was at my college, I played mid for us, and like I was like really bad at map awareness despite like always playing jungle and solo queue. So like it feels natural to micro on like ranged champions, but like it's just weird because a lot of the times ranged champions in the jungle don't seem to always do that well.
Yeah, I mean,
that makes sense.
I think Kindred was a bit stronger before the changes, but I don't know. Riot is buffing crit, so maybe Kindred gets strong again. Um,
What do you think the recommended build for Kindred is? Like, do you think the mythics are interchangeable, or
think Kraken Slayer or Triforce is the best.
okay, you don't think shield bow?
Nah, makes no sense. I think
Gotcha.
like Kindred is kind of like you need damage. You need to kill them.
Well,
It's not like Graves.
what goes into the thought process between Trinity or Kraken Slayer?
So Trinity,
Is it
like
just whether or not they have
Trin,
tanks, or
yeah, I mean Trinity just fits her really well with her Q and her auto spacing.
mm-hmm.
You get a lot of like spell blades procs off, and since it now like buffs your AD when you're in combat, it makes it really nice. Kraken Slayer isn't bad, and it's nice that you get crit and stuff.
So like what if you went Trinity, like what would be your follow-up items on Talia? Like the same as normal, or would you build like slightly differently since you don't have like the crit mythic?
What do you consider as normal?
Uh, to, I mean, if you're like going like one of the 80 mythics, like you would go into like I would say a zeal item second probably,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
then
I mean, Hurricanes is getting buffed, I believe. Once they do that, it's probably going to be better. It's always been a nice item on Kindred. I think Phantom Dancer is a little bit underrated. Some games,
I
though,
think Phantom Dancer's insane personally.
yeah, yeah. So I think Phantom Dancer could be good. Storm Racer has always been a banger on Kindred.
Like I've played some games on Vayne and like Kaisa with Phantom Dancer, and just like how much easier, although they both have tools to run people down, how much easier it is to run people down with Phantom Dancer just feels absurd.
Yeah, I mean, Phantom Dancer kind of helps you a little bit with the issue about not having rapid fire cannon. Because the reason why you go rapid fire is to be able to hit longer range. But if you have Phantom Dancer, you can catch up to longer range easier. You know?
Makes sense. Also for Talia, what do you think the mythic is for her?
Honestly, I think Ludens. I've seen some people do Leandris, but I think Ludens is good.
Because like I've also seen LS talk about going Everfrost on Talia, and I just wasn't sure like what your
Everfrost
thoughts
is
would
the
be on
worst
it.
item in the game.
Is
Like,
there a specific reason why, or
I mean, like you are paying 3.4k gold. The Mythic passive gives you 15 AP. Like, that's really useless compared to a lot of the others. Um, the stats is like whatever. GLP was way better of an item than Everfrost is. I mean, I'm an Everfrost player myself. Like, I do it on Veigar a lot. I think that it's okay if enemy is running into you. If they're like medium range and running into you, you can easily get off the Everfrost route, and then it's good. Um, but assuming they are not running into you, then you can't ever get off Everfrost versus human people.
mm-hmm.
So
Because
probably like Ludens versus like longer range and harder to catch people, and then Everfrost versus like more short range. Like I would for sure go Everfrost over Leandris because I have seen people go Leandris on Talia and makes no sense. I think that Magic Pen Mythic passive and Magic Pen stacking on Talia is really good, and she uses that really well. Um, when you play Talia, it's not really about how many combos you're hitting. It's mainly that when your combo hits, you want the person to die. So I just feel like Ludens with the Magic Pen and stuff with Sword Shoes just offers so much more damage than Everfrost does. Um, at least that's the case for other champs I've tried Everfrost versus Ludens on, like Veigar for example. Veigar got a lot more damage with Ludens. And I can just imagine the same for Talia. When I played Talia, I did the Ludens thing and makes it very easy to space Qs in and out with the Ludens movement speed.
okay, because one of the reasons why I ask is like just whenever I saw like Everfrost announced initially, I just thought the idea of putting like potential hard CC on an item seems very... What's the term I'm looking for?
Have you tried Everfrost?
Yes, I have, and the delay's kind of
Yes,
absurd.
it's the most cringe item I've ever used. Like, it's so annoying to use it.
Isn't it like half a second of delay between like pressing it and it actually going off? Like at least to where you want the hard CC to hit.
Yeah, it's like something like that. It just feels really clunky to use, but like I said, like, main thing is just like, the range is really short and it's slow, so if they're running into you, I don't have a problem with it, you know? It's fine. The issue is still you only get 15 AP per item instead of getting some magic pen, but yeah. I would go Everfrost, like I said, if Ludens wasn't an option.
Okay.
But I can see it be good if they're like all running into me, because then it's really easy to land Everfrost.
Also, just for kicks and giggles, what do you think of Yone as a jungler?
As a jungler, no clue. I know Selfmade really likes Yasuo, and I think Yone is a better champ than Yasuo. But I think Yone probably clears jungle worse than Yasuo, maybe?
Yeah, I've played like 8 games of him, and his clear's like slow-ish, and his ganks feel very weird, but I just wasn't sure if like I was doing something fundamentally wrong, or...
I mean, I'm not gonna recommend playing that, you know?
I feel that.
If you compare these two items, right? 80 AP, 6 magic pen. 80 AP, 200 HP. So, like, Talia doesn't want HP. She'd rather have the magic pen. Same mana, same mana. That's great. Same CDR, great. So far, Ludens is winning because magic pen. Everfrost deal 127 damage. Right? This one, they deal the same. But I also have magic pen and movement speed. This one, though, has slow or root. So, overall, damage is a lot higher on Ludens. So Everfrost range is like here, I believe. Yeah. So this is like your range, right? So, and it's so slow. Like, it's not just about like, it's not just about like the initial delay. It's also the fact it's traveling. You see? Like, I can accept this part, you know, but then it's also traveling. So if they're running now, this isn't even my range. This is my range if they're running. Make sense?
It's more so like something you would have to use when they're CC'd instead of as like initial CC.
Yeah. But then again, if they're CC'd, right? Why can't I just do that? Right? So that doesn't really make the difference. I've done some cool plays with Everfrost on like Veigar, like when people are like rotating and stuff, like when they're like rotating here, I can do this and then you just one shot. But then again, you can also just fog W with Talia and one shot with Ludens too. So it's really like only like, let's say they have like Zed, right? He dashes on you, you can do that and kill him. Stuff like that is great. When they're like all running into you, you can get Everfrost on multiple people too. You can't even Everfrost flash, which is cringe, because you could GLP flash before. You can't Everfrost flash, so you have to flash Everfrost. So it's just really clunky item. And gives a lot of stats I don't want. Like, I want Magic Pen, not 15 AP. I want AP or M Pen, not HP. So yeah. Because like, let's say... like, if I buy like 3 items, right? Like, this one has now given me 30 AP. Wouldn't you rather just want, like, more Magic Pen?
I also have another question regarding mythics for Lilia. I was watching the NAN houses, and I forget who it was. I saw one of them go Moonstone.
Yeah, it's good. It's OP. It's OP.
You think Moonstone is...
Yeah, it's OP. Yeah.
Is it just like that typical thing with support items where Riot tries to make them good enough for supports and then...
Yeah, it's fucking turbo cheap. It's really cheap and Riot are really bad at balancing, so...
Gotcha. I'm assuming it's like the reason why Imperial Mandate was broken on mid laners.
Yup.
Like,
Yeah, Riot never learns this. They need 3 more seasons of balancing support to realize that if they make items really cheap with OP passives, that supports aren't going to be the only ones using it.
do you believe the whole thing where Riot says they actually like talk to Halo players? And
Yeah, they do. That's why it's even more cringe that they fuck up.
Wait, oh, they actually.
Yeah, they do.
I just thought they didn't. That's why like the balance was so bad.
Nah, they do. I've talked to Riot myself as well. Like they do some good change. They do good changes sometimes, but they do some really dumb shit sometimes. But it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna